listening to Party Time, My Golf Story with Kevin Walsh and whatever special guest he has today. You can check me out on episode 9 of the podcast. Today I'm wearing Grayson clothes while I'm out practicing because I believe in look good, play good. And follow me on Instagram, Sophia Warren Golf, and hope you enjoy the rest of the show.
It's Party Time, My Golf Story, brought to you by Party Drinks. Classically designed golf drinks for golfers by golfers. And the golf real estate pros Gene Walsh and Vince Vizzacaro. For your Southwest Florida real estate needs, check them out at suncoastdreams.com. Now here's your host, Kevin Walsh.
Hey everyone, welcome to the program. We have one of my caddy buddies, Marc Dull. Now, if that name sounds familiar to you and you watch Golf Channel and you follow amateur golf very closely, that name should be familiar to you based on the history that he accomplished about a week and a half after this recording. He advanced in the USGA 4-ball in Plainfield, New Jersey, North Jersey, suburban New York area by himself. Won one match with his teammate, and then his teammate had to bail. We'll get into that. And then he won another match to advance to the quarterfinals all by himself. It's never happened in the USGA 4-ball. But he's also done a lot of other things. He's, if anything amateur related in Florida, including the mid-amateur match play, stroke play, Florida State amateur, he's played in them all, and he's won them all. He's been the amateur player of the year in Florida multiple times, and he's one of my caddy buddies. And he is our guest here on Party Time, My Golf Story. Do me a favor, if you haven't subscribed yet to the podcast, please do so. That helps with our sponsors. Speaking of our sponsors, big thanks to Party Drinks. If you're looking for a drink alternative on the golf course, then try a Party. These are real cocktails, ready-to-drink canned cocktails for golfers by golfers, and it makes all the difference. And if you don't have it at your golf course, you can get it through Paradise Craft Distributors, the exclusive distributor of Party across the state of Florida. And if your dream is to live in a golf resort community like Lakewood National Golf Club in Lakewood Ranch, Florida, where this podcast originates from, nobody better than the golf real estate pros of Gene Walsh and Vince Vizzacaro from suncoastdreams.com, a division of fine properties in the greater Sarasota area. All right, so enough of that. There he is.
Hey,
my man.
What's happening?
Dude, I am so proud of you. And I know I'm not the only one. I know a lot of people are giving you high fives and everything. Nobody gave you a better high five than your caddy BD.
Right, well, that was a good one.
It was a good one. But so let's talk about it. You're about a week and a half removed from being the lead story on Golf Channel, playing in the 4-ball, a 2-man competition, but playing by yourself. What happened? Explain the backstory.
So Chip and I, we've done this. He's the only one I've ever played with in this event. And we signed up to qualify. The entry deadline to qualify for this, to sign up for this event is like now for next year. So you have to do it super early because the northern states have to get it in before winter comes. So they're ready for May. So we signed up we qualified in October. I think we signed up in June of last year. And we knew going into it that his daughter's graduation was going to be around the same time. We just didn't know the exact dates. And so we're like, yeah, let's just do it. If something happens, we'll just roll with it. And then we qualified, and then he got the dates, and he told me what the date was. And he told me from the very beginning, he's like, hey, if we win our first round match, we make it to the second round, you're going to have to play by yourself. Do you still want to go? I was like, yeah, I mean, let's cross that bridge when we get there. What are the chances that we make it to match play plus win a match? So I figured, why not? So we just kind of rolled with it and decided to just go ahead and continue to play.
So tell me about Chip. I know a lot of people who are watching this are going to know exactly who you're talking about. Just give a little background on who he is and your relationship with him.
Okay, so Chip Brooke was the original caddy master at Streamsong. He's the one that actually hired me to start working at Streamsong. And it's kind of a funny story how I met Chip. He was playing at Bartow Golf Course one day. I didn't know who he was. I was playing good that day. I shot 29 or 30 on the front nine, and he was the group in front of me, not knowing who he was. And I was kind of just talking a little trash, trying to drum up a match. I could tell they were good players, just trying to get a gamble. They didn't say anything. So nothing went about it. Didn't think of it. Come maybe 6 months later, I show up to Streamsong just out of the blue. Was like, hey, I'm looking for a job to caddy. And he goes, I know you. He's like, you're the guy that Bartow that was talking trash to me that day. I was like, oh, crap, he's never going to hire me. And he's like, just sit down. So they were kind of in need of caddies, and he didn't hold it against me. He's just like, hey man, he's like, I was you that time. He's like, I know this kind of, I knew what was going on, and and then we just kind of started playing golf together out of Stream Song within the first 6 months or so of me working out there. And then we started pairing together. So that's how I met Shep. And he ended up being in my wedding. So it's kind of a crazy story how we met.
Oh, that's really cool. And the backstory on Bartow and trash talking. For those that are not familiar with Bartow and the trash talking and the gambling and just the grit of the place and the players that are there and
Oh,
everything
yeah.
that can have, why don't you fill us in?
I mean, Bartow is, I mean, it is in a kind of a country, lower income area, but it's where all the best games were. It's all the best players were there. We had guys with no teeth, with jean shorts, would go out there and shoot 67, 68 in a hurry. So it was like when you showed up to Bartow, you didn't know what you were going to, didn't matter what anybody looked like, but you had to go out there and shoot in the 60s every day or you were going to lose for sure.
Isn't that cool? I mean, that place it's an old Donald Ross course, right?
Supposedly, yeah. I think there's only
Yeah.
a few holes left from the original design, but originally it was an old Donald Ross, yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love the greens. I love being out there. Like we've had some of our caddy tournaments there in the past, and it's just like everybody's happy there. If you can't have fun there, you can't have fun
Exactly.
anywhere. It's your
Exactly. Yep.
the place. It's got the appropriate grid on it
It
in every
does.
way, shape, and
And
form.
it's got the perfect pro, Chris Banks. Spanky is his nickname. Ray calls him Spanky, but he's a guy from that area, grew up in that area, so he gets it. So he lets us kind of just do what we want to do. We take care of the place. We don't cause too many problems, and it's just, I mean, it was where I grew up playing golf. Not the only place, but that's where I spent most of my youth playing golf.
Marc Dull is our guest here on Party Time, my golf story, brought to you by Party Drinks. If you're looking for a drink alternative on the golf course, try a Party. And if your dream is to live on a golf course or in a golf resort community like Lakewood National Golf Club, nobody better than the golf real estate pros, Gene Walsh and Vince Vizicaro from suncoastdreams.com, a division of fine properties in the greater Sarasota area. So back to the four ball. And then, well, being on Golf Channel, what happened to your phone after everything aired?
Oh my gosh. So I had people sending me text messages like when the match got over, because I had only told a couple people because we didn't really want to tell anybody because I wanted it to be a surprise to my opponents when I got there. But I had a couple people text me like, hey, if you're actually out there playing by yourself, that is unbelievable. And then I got done and I mean, hundreds of text messages and Instagram posts and tags and just people, some from numbers I don't even know. I don't even know who sent me messages, just hundreds of them, just tell me what an amazing job it was, like how unbelievable it was. And then my buddies from college were like, wouldn't expect anything else. They're like, if anybody's going to do it, it was me. They was just an outpouring of support and just congratulations from everybody from all over the place.
Well, I knew you were going and I kind of knew the circumstances. And then I'm walking through my living room and I've got Golf Central on. And then I hear Marc Dull and I look over and there you are. And I'm like,
Yeah,
holy smokes,
yeah,
this
it
is
was pretty wild.
happening.
Yeah.
And it was just so cool. And I forget who it was, but whoever the commentator was on it, you caddied for him a stream song before, so he could tell like additional stories in addition to what happened during the matches. Was very
Oh, okay.
complimentary of
Oh,
you,
cool.
and oh, that was cool. But the reason I bring that, just like a week or so prior to you leaving for Plainfield to play in the four ball, I remember hearing a conversation with you and our boss, and it didn't seem like your golf game was in a really good place because you played poorly in U.S. Open sectional qualifying, and but something changed. What happened? Why don't you
Well,
fill in the blanks?
yeah. So like at sectionals, I played great. I just didn't score well. Like I was hitting the ball well, but didn't score well. When you haven't been playing any golf, like I'm not a range rat. I probably have hit less than 10 buckets of balls to practice in the last 5 or 6 years. I'm just not a range person. I need to play. And so I was hitting the ball okay, but not scoring well. And we got up there and I was lucky that we had some members from other courses that we caddied for at Streamsong and they took us out. So not only did we play our practice rounds for the tournament, we actually went and got to play Trump Bedminster and Canoe Brook before the tournament started. So I got to play 4 rounds of golf before the tournament even started, and that just kind of like that all that golf bunched into a short period of time just kind of got me right back to where I needed to be. Because
Yeah,
I'm one of those people that needs to play. Like I
you're a
don't I don't
gamer.
like hit balls. Yeah, exactly. I just like to play. So That was kind of it for me.
Well, I imagine having your buddy Chip along for some of the ride, but having BD, your caddy, is
Yeah, that's
certainly such a good high five on
oh, dude.
Golf
That's funny you
Central.
say that too, because so many people even made a comment about that five. They're like, dude, that might be one of the best high fives I've seen in a long time. It was and then I heard the audio of it. I didn't realize it at the time because I was so zoned in. But seeing the video afterwards, I have to admit that was a pretty good one.
Tell me about BD. Just give me the
Man,
backstory on him. And a
yeah,
lot of us just know him as BD. I know his
yeah,
name is Brian.
yes, exactly.
But
Yeah. So
what a warm spirit to have around the
oh,
yard, right?
BD's the best, man. He loves golf. I met BD through another caddy, Rustin, who's a Bandon Dunes caddy. I met Rustin the first year he came down from Bandon. We started playing a lot of golf, and he's like, "Hey, my boy BD's coming into town. I know you guys would probably hit it off. Just want to introduce you." So BD actually lived with me for the first probably 6, 8 months that he moved from out west to Stream Song. And then we just kind of became buddies, and he started caddying for me 2017 or 18 and all these things. As you know, Kevin, BD's a pretty good golfer. He's a 1 or 2 handicap,
Oh
but
yeah.
maybe not quite as good, maybe not quite good enough to play in some of these events. But he's just he's a golf nerd, loves it, eats it
Yeah.
up. And so he's perfect for me because he loves it, is all about it, um, knows what to say, when to say it, and when not to say anything. Because sometimes as a caddy, saying nothing is more important than saying something. Sometimes it's better to know when to just not say anything. And he's great at that, and we just get along great off the golf course. When you're at tournaments, you spend a lot of time with your caddy, so it's as much about on course as it is off course relationships as well.
Well, I always enjoy the time that I'm with BD. He
Yeah, he's the
usually makes
best.
me laugh at some
Yes.
point, and he just has a warmth and a spirit about him, which just makes the room illuminate and everything. I've enjoyed being on loops with you. We've only done it a couple times, and we'll get into that in a second. But let's go back to the beginning. When did golf start in your life? How did it happen?
So I've been playing golf pretty much my entire life. My mom said when I was 3 and 4 years old, I would steal her laundry baskets and cardboard boxes and all that kind of stuff and be in the backyard just chipping into them on my own. I don't remember that, but she said, I mean, I've basically been playing golf as soon as I could walk almost within, at 3 or 4 years old. So,
Does the whole family play golf?
um, they do. I mean, kind of. My sister played in college. She did not play till she was about 14 or 15. It's a funny story. She was forced to go to golf camp with me because she missed the deadline to go to a summer camp. My grandmother watched this, so she didn't have a choice. My grandma was like, "You're going to golf camp," and so she ended up learning, and she got her college paid for it. And so she became a decent player. A high 70s to high 80s player.
Mhm.
My dad played when he and I started playing. He was probably a 10 or 12 handicap, but by the time as I started getting better and better, he started getting better and better because he's very competitive, and he got down to like a 2 or 3.
Wow.
But it all started. Yeah, it all started. My great grandfather was the real golfer in the family. He won 2 U.S. senior amateurs. I have the plaque in my house.
Wow. Okay.
He was the very first inductee in the Florida State Golf Hall of Fame. Um, so yeah, he was kind of the originator of the golf in the family.
Wow. So some good genes were
Yeah,
passed down. I
yeah,
did
and
not know that.
he was more like a grandfather for me because he lived across the
Mhm.
street from me. And he lived to be 99. So I mean, he passed when I was 18. So I knew him more as a grandpa than a great grandfather. And so I used to get home from school and I'd go sit and talk with him, every day or every other day. We just talk, and golf would always come up. He'd always have golf on the TV. So that's kind of where it's where the whole started with my family.
That's beautiful. And where
Yeah.
is home for you? Tell me about the hometown.
I grew up in Winter Haven.
Hmm.
Small. It used to be a small town. Now it's more like a
Yeah.
bedroom community. Everybody's moving there to work in Orlando or Tampa or whatever. But when I was a kid, it was a smaller town for sure.
Did you get good at golf fast?
I would say yes. My dad wouldn't let me play golf on the actual golf course until I could break 90. He's like, "You're not going to waste anybody's time. People are paying money to come out here and play. You're not going to go out here and go shoot 120." So I didn't really get to go on the golf course and play until I could, shoot in the 80s. But I was doing that at 10 years old, and I think I broke par the first time when I was 12 or 13.
Oh,
Like from the men's tees, 64, 500 yards. I think I shot under par when the first time I was like 12 or 13. So
wow.
Yeah,
That's
it
good
came
stuff.
pretty quickly. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you had an impressive junior golf career. Where'd you go to college and why there?
I went to school. I played golf at Florida Southern. I say I played golf. I was on the golf team only 2 years. I was on the golf team my freshman year and my senior year. I actually gave up golf for 2 years in the middle there. I was so frustrated with my game after my freshman year that I did not. I think I played one round of golf in 2 years in my sophomore and junior year of college. And then after my junior year of college, I started playing some summer stuff and played well, and then went back and played on the team my senior year.
Wow. So you fell out of love with golf.
Oh yeah,
And
it was brutal. Yeah.
was it because of the pressure of college golf? I mean, I'll tell you, I played at Purdue and I couldn't crack the lineup my freshman year. And I was the only freshman that was on any form of scholarship. And it was so humbling. And
Right.
by my sophomore year, I hated the game. And I'm like, I got to put the fun back in or I just can't play this. Is your story similar?
I mean, I got found out real quick. I was never a grinder and never went out there and practiced and worked on my game. It just wasn't something I did. And those guys in college are all doing that, and I just wasn't doing it. I wasn't good enough. Um, I wasn't a good college player. I mean, I was a decent player in college, but I wasn't. I wouldn't call myself a good player. I didn't become what I would consider a good player until I was probably 25, 26, something like that. My game kind of turned the corner, and then I started playing kind of the game that I still play to this day.
Well, how old are you now?
39. 39.
Would you say you're a late bloomer or are you playing some of your best golf now?
I'm definitely. I don't know if it was a late bloomer. It was more of an attitude change for me.
Mhm.
I was just such a hothead. Every bogey was the end of the world. I didn't understand how to like control my emotions. I got in my own way as a kid. I didn't have the maturity to play golf the way it needed to be played. And when I quit playing there for a while, I'll tell you what ended up happening, to be honest with you. My mom used to come and watch me play golf all the time. Still to this day, she's flown across the country in my 30s to watch me play tournaments. She loves to watch me play. But my mom came to watch me play a golf tournament. I played like 2 or 3 holes, had a fit, threw a club, broke a club, and my mom left, drove like 3 or 4 hours back home, refused to watch me play. And that was kind of the moment like, all right, we gotta we gotta do something different here. Like you're getting in
Mhm.
your way, you're embarrassing yourself, you're embarrassing your mother. And kind of from that day on, I've not thrown one club since. I haven't. It was just kind of like an aha moment. And between that and I'd made a grip change late in my 20s, and between those two things, my game just kind of just went off from there.
So you needed that tipping point, like
Yeah,
to
for
embarrass
sure.
yourself and probably embarrass your mom. And
Correct.
you probably felt like she was disappointed in you, which I mean, what is more painful than disappointing our parents? You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah. And especially because she's been the biggest supporter of all. You know what I mean? She's been there for everything. And then, you see what you do and you see you embarrass your parents that way. It's just kind of like I was young and dumb and just needed that kind of like that kick in the ass, basically, like, hey, dude,
Yeah.
get it right.
Right. Well, you got it right. And I remember we were on a loop. It was probably a couple months ago. And I think you were playing really well at the time. And I'd been struggling for a couple of years. And I'm like, Mark, what are you thinking about when you stand over the ball? And you said something really simple and profound. And you said, I'm not really thinking about anything. He's like, I'm just going to hit the shot. It's going to do what it does. And what can you do?
Yeah.
Why even worry about it?
Yeah.
Is that, am I close to being right there? Like
Yeah.
what the
You're
thought process is or isn't?
for sure. Yeah. You're 100% right. I started working with a guy named John Bierkin, and we worked on just one feel at impact, like a little bit of setup stuff, and then one feel at impact. And he's like, "You do that, you're gonna be in good shape." And so now all I try to do is just have that one feel at impact. I'm like, all right, once I've hit it, it's over. Like there's no fear anymore. I don't have any thoughts. I don't have any swing thoughts. For me, it's just all about having to have that one feel, and that's it. So
Just one thought and you let it go. And you don't know that much about your equipment. Like for a lot of good players, like they've got like all their bounce and angles and all that stuff. Like you don't know what yours are. You just play. It
nah,
is what it is.
yeah, yeah. My wedges are just off the rack, except I reshaft them because I need everything long. All my clubs are 2 inches long. But other than that, everything's just off the rack. The shaft that's in my driver is just a extra stiff shaft that came with it when I got it. I'm not a tinker. I don't really know anything about golf equipment. I don't change clubs. I have the same irons I've had for 7 years now. I've had only maybe 2 drivers in the last 7 or 8 years. At the end of the day, I know it's not the clubs. It's just me. So I just kind of whatever I have, I just go and make it work.
Make it work. What's the
Yeah.
lowest round you've ever played? It could be a social round, competitive round. What is it?
The lowest score I've ever shot is
Mhm.
60. I've shot 60 twice. Um, Lowest competitive round I think is 62. But
When you're was 59 in your thoughts at all when
yeah,
you
both
shot?
both both times I shot 60, I had a putt for 59 on the last hole.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Back it up. All
yeah.
right, because I want to know the feeling coming up to 18, knowing what was on the line. Take me there. Where were you? And
Uh,
I want to feel the feels.
okay, so the first time I ever did it was at Shalimar Creek, which it's a short golf course. So it's like 6,200 yards, par 71 or two, whatever it is. Um, and driving on the green, got a putt for eagle. I didn't think anything of it. I was young, 22, 23, whatever it was. But then the most recent one was at a place called Wedgwood in Lakeland. It's not even there anymore. They've sold it off. But the 18th's a par five, and I was playing really well. And if you had a good drive on that hole, you get like 6 or 7 iron into the par five. And I hit it to about 15, 18 feet on the last hole. So I knew walking up to there, like, I got this one to shoot a legitimate 59 on like a real golf course.
All right,
And
so it's an eagle putt.
eagle putt, yeah, par five eagle putt on the last.
Okay, so you know what's on the line and everything. I mean, how's the body feeling? Where's the head? I want to stand over the putt and feel what you're feeling.
I mean, not much really. I was just like, don't leave it short. Like, make sure it has a chance. It's like I knew what it was for. Um, you always think you're gonna have a million more chances to do it. You're like, oh, this is gonna be my last chance to shoot 59, right? Probably a little overly confident or cocky, you could call it. But I didn't even really wasn't thinking that much. I was like, let's just give it a chance and see what happens. Like, we're gonna hit it and it's either gonna go or it's not.
I would have been nervous as hell. I haven't come close, so I don't know the feeling, but I would guess I'd be nervous as hell. But you weren't?
No, I don't no,
Okay.
I'm not really a nervous person. Like, I don't get too nervous about anything. Like, it's kinda just like I'm more of kind of a, it is what it is kinda guy. So it's like, okay, I'm either gonna make it or I'm not, and we're gonna go in and we're gonna have some fun afterwards, whatever. It's just kinda like, just give it a chance.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good. Tell me a good golf story. I mean, it could be anything. It could be somebody famous, something that you did, but just a go to that always sort of brings the house down.
You were talking about I don't know if it brings the house down, but kind of funny. When we were in college, we used to play this invitational event up in Alabama in the summertime. So we go to the tournament and they have a long drive contest before the tournament. The winner gets a $100 gift card or whatever it is. So we're all on the putting green. Me and my buddies, we're doing our putting matches, whatever. We got our drivers with us, and I'm in flip flops, just on the putting green doing some putting. And the long drive contest is going off on the 10th tee right above us. We can see everything going. There's people everywhere. So I go, we'll just wait till the end. As it dies down, we'll go over there. So we walk over, driver in hand. I have my flip flops on, carrying my golf shoes to go hit to do the long drive contest. And we walk up. The long drive was, I think, like 348 or something like that. And this is back in 2006 or seven. So I'm like, there's no way I'm hitting at 348. I'm not even going to bother putting my shoes on. We're joking on the putting green. We're like, doesn't matter anyways. The long drive champ's going to shoot 81. So what does it matter? So we go up there. I hit my flip flops. I hit it 357 in the flip flops, win the long drive contest. The next day in the paper, there's the whole write up on the tournament and everything, and there's a picture of my feet in flip flops that the guy that the reporter took. Marc Dull wins long drive and flip flops 357, and then I proceeded to shoot 81 the next.
Oh, okay.
So kind of talked it into existence, maybe. I don't know, but it was kind of funny. We still,
That's
many of my boys from school, we still kind of talk about that, laugh about that one.
that's a great story. I'm going to take a guess here, but you tell me. Was winning the Florida State Amateur in 2023? Is that your biggest win? The
Um,
stroke play.
yes, for sure, because I put a lot of pressure on myself to win that event because there was like a 5-year stretch there where I lost in a playoff. I finished third, finished fourth, finished sixth, finished second. I like got 5 or 6 straight years where I finished in the top 5 but didn't win. So going to that tournament every year, I put on extra pressure. I was like, I have to win this one. This is our biggest amateur event in the state. I had been, the amateur player of the year a few times. I've been one of the best players in our state association. I was like, I have to win this one. So to go out there, not only to win, but then win by such a large margin, and then on top of that, shooting the tournament scoring record, just kind of all of it coming together was, I would say, definitely the biggest win that I've had.
How many under were you?
17.
It's pretty good. So
Yeah.
you're feeling the pressure coming in, like, I got to get this, da da da. Like when you're coming down the stretch, or are you just like, I got it, or are you holding on?
So
Take me there.
coming down the stretch, I wasn't feeling any pressure because I think I had a 9-shot lead with like 6 holes to go or something like that. And so I really wasn't feeling any pressure. And it was actually to my detriment. I was like, okay, this tournament's over. And I think it was the 15th hole of that final round. I made a double bogey without hitting the ball in the hazard. Just hit it 6 times, made double bogey. And I'm like, okay, wait a minute. We still got a few holes left. We got to pay attention. It's probably the best thing that could have happened because it kind of refocused me, resettled me in, and made me like pay attention to the end. I birdied the next hole and then went in, parred the rest, and it went in by 7. So it wasn't really feeling the pressure because I played so well up to that point that I pretty much built a lead that I didn't have to. I mean, I hit the green on 18. There's water on 18. I hit the green. I kind of just dropped my clubs, threw my hands up in the air. I was like, finally, it's over. You know what I mean? Like it was more of a sigh of relief. It was like, okay, we're done now.
Right. You can breathe at that
exactly.
point.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me take you back to the caddying. What does it do for you? What do you like about it? And what do you think makes a good caddy? Like when you show up on a loop, what do you want to bring to the table?
Yeah, it's a good question. So what it does for me for golf is like, even though we know the guys you're caddying for aren't necessarily hitting the putt exactly where you tell them to hit it or with the pace that you want them to hit it. But when you're reading putts all day, every day, and you're seeing balls react on the greens all day, every day, you learn a lot. Your eye gets used to seeing. So when I'm caddying, I'm definitely putting my best when I'm caddying. Because for a while when I wasn't caddying, my putting kind of went away because I wasn't seeing the putts like I do now. You're seeing so many putts every day, all day. Definitely helps with that part of it. And as far as what makes a good caddy, it's kind of what we talked about earlier, like knowing what to say or what not to say. I think our number one job as caddies is reading people. You have 4 guys in every group, and not all 4 guys want the same guy on it. Not all 4 guys want the same information. Not all 4 guys, everybody needs something a little different, or you can say something to one guy that you can't say to the other. So I think the best thing a caddy can be is a people reader, like understanding people. The golf part of it, I think, comes second, as opposed to, first it's dealing with the people, just each personality, and then the golf side comes, because you could give them the best reads all day, but if you and the other guy just aren't getting along, it doesn't matter. He's not going to want to listen to you anyways. So I think the people side of it comes first.
The thing you mentioned about reading putts and everything, I never really thought about that, but I think about when I'm reading putts for other people, I read them better than when I read them for myself.
For sure. Because you don't, I agree with that 100%, because you don't have a fear of the result. You're just like, this is what I see, and they're dealing with the result or the consequences of their putt. You're not necessarily dealing with those consequences because it's not your score. So you're just freely reading them how you see them. Because when we do it for ourselves, there's always doubt. Like, well, am I doing it right? And with caddying, I think there's something to be said too, that we do it much quicker because you got 4 guys, you got to get them around, you got to read 4 putts. So you're just going with the first thing you see. And how many times have we read a putt and then you stand over and go, oh no, and then you change it as you're standing over the ball, right?
Yes.
So
yeah,
you don't do that as a caddy.
Right. But as a player, we have all the time in the world, and sometimes it's counterproductive because it gives some time for doubt to come in or tension to get into your hands or whatever. That's a good point. I didn't think about it that way. It's kind of like multiple choice tests in high school and college. Usually your first guess is the right one.
That's exactly right. Usually the first thing you see is if you just go with that, but we question ourselves because we're so worried about missing it. And when you're caddying, you don't have time to do that. That's why I think it's, it's a good that's the best thing that comes from caddying, I think, is just seeing so many putts get hit, reading so many greens, watching that kind of thing. So
Profound question here. How important is golf to you in your life? Or look at it like another way. If you didn't have golf in your life, what would be missing?
it's a good question because I'm such a competitive person. Like I like to fish, and I love my kids, and I do things with my kids, and I love it. But there's something about me that just needs to get that like competitive juice out, and golf, you're on an island by yourself. There's nobody, there's no teammate coming to save you. You can't try any harder when you're having a bad day. I don't know. It just puts you on an island, and it lets me be competitive. It's I would say it's not the most important thing, but it is right up there because I'm in a better mood when I get to play golf on a regular basis. I get to get out that tension and all the things, and like I get to take it all out on the golf course and focus on just one thing, right? We all have a million things going on in life. And when I'm on the golf course, I get to just focus on one thing, and that's just playing golf. Um, so it's almost like therapy, right? It's like, okay, you get to go have a 4 hour therapy session, and then okay, golf's done, whether you play bad or not. It's over, and I don't know. It's really important. It's something I will do as long as I can for the rest of my life, hopefully.
I can just feel it like
Yeah,
in my bones. That's coming from your heart and from your
yeah.
bones in expressing that. Marc Dull is our guest here. He's one of my caddy buddies. He is the 2023 Florida State Amateur Champion. He's won multiple times. He's been Player of the Year in the state of Florida. Marc, we're getting down to the nitty gritty here. If you had one golf tip that you could give anybody, it could be someone we're caddying for, good player, bad player. Like what's
Right.
your one thing that has more miles and more traction on it than anything else?
The biggest thing I see from, especially, caddy and seeing all the people do it, everybody needs to just stand closer to the golf ball. You cannot stand too close to the golf ball when you're making a golf swing. I think everybody just has too much space. Everything needs to be tighter. If I could give anybody one tip, the first thing would always be get closer, crowd the golf ball. I think if everybody did that, they'd be amazed how much their game would improve alone just by doing that. It takes away so many of the bad tendencies, so many of the options to make bad swings, the over the tops and all this kind of stuff. If you just stand closer to the ball, if you start there, you're going to be in a good spot.
I've never heard that one, but coming from you, I will pay attention to it, and I think I get it now because it's just there's less that can go wrong. You're not
That's
reaching
correct.
for it and everything. It's just sort
Yeah.
of right there.
Look at all those guys on tour. All of them, their hands are so tight to their body. What do they say?
Mhm.
Furyk used to, he couldn't put anything in his right pocket because his hands were so close to it on his downswing. Like all the best players in the world are on top of it. So,
Yeah, and if you think about it, the golf swing is more up and down than it is round. When you start
correct.
coming in like too
Yeah.
shallow, and you can't square the club face up.
Look at Scottie Scheffler when he's hitting. His hands are right in between his legs almost. I mean, all the best players are all just crowded on top of it.
That's a good tip. And I'm gonna
Yeah,
put it into play. Hey man, once again, I'm really proud of you,
I
especially
appreciate
what you
it.
did recently at the four ball. That's great stuff.
That was
I
so much fun.
imagine I imagine you're gonna try and do it next year, but have your partner with you all the
That's
way
right.
through.
No more graduations. His youngest daughter's graduated, and my oldest is 12. So we got at least 6 more years before there's any more high school graduations you have to worry about.
Well, get after it. All right. You guys have had a good run like together and apart and everything else. Marc, really enjoyed the conversation. I'll see you at the shack
Yeah, we'll
and
see
on
you
the
soon.
next
All
one.
right, Kevin.
All right, hang in
See
there.
you.
Big thanks to Marc Dull. He has been our guest here on Party Time, My Golf Story. And a big thanks to our title sponsors, Party Drinks and the Golf Real Estate Pros of Gene Walsh and Vince Visicaro from suncoastdreams.com, a division of fine properties in the greater Sarasota area. For Marc Dull, I'm Kevin Walsh. We'll see you again next time on Party Time, My Golf Story.
You've been listening to It's Party Time, My Golf Story, brought to you by Party Drinks. Classically designed golf drinks for golfers by golfers, and the Golf Real Estate Pros Gene Walsh and Vince Visicaro. For your Southwest Florida real estate needs, check them out at suncoastdreams.com or call 941-220-4000.